Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Ryan, and with me is Priya. Many people are having a tough time training their brain to think in English, and that's exactly why today's episode is dedicated to solving that problem. 7 methods to train your brain to think in English. We know that getting your mind to process thoughts directly in English can seem overwhelming, but it's a crucial step in speeding up your language learning. Today, we'll explore 7 actionable techniques that will help you learn English fast and turn English into your go-to language for thinking. Our aim is to make these methods clear and accessible for everyone, especially beginners.
Hello, everyone. I'm Priya, and thanks for joining us on Speak Up. As Ryan mentioned, the challenge of thinking in English is a common one among learners. So, how can you overcome it? Today, we're going to share 7 effective ways to rewire your brain, helping you transition to thinking in English more naturally. Whether you're struggling with everyday conversation or looking to enhance your overall fluency, these strategies are designed to help you break through mental barriers and gain a smoother, more confident command of the language. Stay tuned as we dive into these transformative tips.
Priya, let's first understand why thinking in English is essential. When you begin to internalize English, you're not just learning new words, you're actually changing the way your brain works. This shift allows you to think directly in English, which can truly improve English fluency. When thoughts form naturally in English, conversations become more spontaneous and smooth. You no longer need to stop and translate, and that makes your responses quicker and more confident. This process helps enhance your communication skills and makes learning faster. It's all about mastering how to think in English, and by doing so, you'll see a noticeable boost in your overall fluency and comfort with the language.
Exactly, Ryan. When you learn how to think in English, it creates a mental environment where the language becomes second nature. This change not only improves English fluency, but also makes daily interactions more effortless. Without the need for constant translation, your responses become more natural and your confidence grows. This approach is particularly effective for those who want to learn English fast, as it speeds up the learning process and sharpens your communication skills. Embracing this method means you're setting the foundation for clear, instant thinking in English, which is a key step toward mastering the language and engaging confidently in any conversation.
Let's start with Method 1. Immersion through daily exposure. Every day, you have a chance to bring English into your routine. Whether it's engaging in conversations or listening to English stories, making room for English in your daily life is a natural way to boost your skills. Spending time on English listening practice, like tuning into a short story during breakfast or a chat with a friend, helps your brain get used to the language's rhythm and expressions. This simple habit turns everyday moments into real opportunities to learn English with stories, making the process feel easy and enjoyable.
Absolutely, Ryan. Integrating English into daily activities, like during your morning walk or while cooking dinner, creates an environment where language learning happens naturally. Listening to engaging stories and joining in everyday conversations helps you become more comfortable with the sounds and flow of English. Regular English listening practice reinforces your understanding and makes new words feel like a part of your vocabulary. This method is a relaxed and practical way to learn English with stories while steadily building the confidence you need for fluent communication.
Continuing on this path, making time for English in small, consistent doses really makes a difference. When you regularly incorporate English listening practice into your day, whether through a brief story or a casual talk, your mind gradually adapts to thinking in the language. This steady exposure helps you pick up patterns, idioms, and natural expressions without the pressure of formal study. It's a friendly, everyday approach that turns simple moments into valuable learning experiences. In this way, you're not just studying English, you're living it through stories and conversations that become part of your daily rhythm.
Exactly, Ryan. This method of daily exposure lets you build a solid foundation in English without feeling overwhelmed. As you listen and converse more often, you start noticing improvements in your vocabulary and pronunciation. The practice of listening to English stories and participating in natural conversations gradually makes the language more familiar and easier to use. Over time, These small, consistent efforts boost your fluency and confidence, making English feel like a natural part of your day. This practical approach is a proven way to learn English with stories and enhance your overall communication skills.
Now let's move on to Method 2, mastering the shadowing technique. This approach is all about mimicking native speakers to refine your pronunciation. The idea is simple. Listen carefully to how a native speaker talks, then repeat what you hear, matching their tone, pace, and intonation. By shadowing, you get direct practice on English pronunciation tips that help you speak more naturally. This technique not only improves your accent, but also trains your brain to pick up on the natural rhythm and patterns of the language.
Exactly, Ryan. With shadowing, you're essentially turning your listening time into active practice. As you repeat what you hear, you begin to notice subtle details in speech, like stress on certain words and the natural pauses in sentences. These small adjustments can have a big impact on your overall fluency. The process helps you internalize correct pronunciation and speech patterns, making your English sound smoother and more confident. It's a practical way to take those English pronunciation tips and apply them in real time.
Continuing from that, mastering the shadowing technique means practicing consistently. Each session, try to focus on a short audio clip from a trusted source, such as a conversation or a brief story. Listen first without speaking, then start repeating line by line. This method forces you to pay close attention to how words are pronounced and connected naturally. It's like having a personal language coach right there with you. With regular practice, you'll notice that your speech starts flowing more naturally, and your confidence in speaking English grows significantly.
And that's the key, Ryan: consistency. When you make shadowing a regular part of your routine, it becomes easier to pick up on the nuances of native speech. This technique not only offers practical English pronunciation tips, but also gradually builds your ability to mimic natural speech patterns. As you get more comfortable with this method, you'll find that your accent and fluency improve without you even noticing. The shadowing technique is a straightforward, hands-on approach to making your spoken English clearer and more authentic, which is essential for anyone looking to boost their language skills.
Now, let's dive into Method 3, systematic vocabulary building. A strong mental lexicon is the foundation of effective communication in English. One of the most practical ways to achieve this is by using an English vocabulary builder. This tool helps you organize and review new words in a structured way. By incorporating regular practice, you not only learn new words, but also understand how to use them in context. It's all about building a habit where you consistently expand your word bank. Following these steps can give you clear tips on how to expand your English vocabulary naturally and steadily.
Absolutely, Ryan. Consistent vocabulary practice is key. To boost your language skills, start by setting small daily goals, perhaps learning a handful of new words each day. Use the English Vocabulary Builder to track your progress and revisit words regularly. This method allows you to see patterns and connections between words, making it easier to remember them. When you combine this with focused practice, you're effectively using tips to memorize English words that work in everyday conversation. It's a simple yet powerful approach that steadily enhances your ability to express yourself more clearly in English.
Taking it further, another useful strategy is to engage with words in various contexts. Try writing sentences or short paragraphs using the new vocabulary. This not only reinforces your memory, but also helps you see how words function in different situations. Using flashcards or spaced repetition techniques can be very helpful too. These are practical tips on how to expand your English vocabulary in a systematic way, ensuring that the words you learn become part of your active usage. When you build your vocabulary with consistent practice, every new word adds to your confidence and clarity in communication.
And let's not forget the importance of reviewing and self-testing. Regularly revisiting words and testing yourself can make a huge difference. Try to incorporate these words into your daily conversations or writing exercises, and use tools like an English vocabulary builder to track which words need more practice. These practical tips to memorize English words help you identify gaps in your knowledge and reinforce learning over time. With this systematic approach, Your vocabulary grows organically, making it easier to understand and use English in real-life situations. This steady progress is essential for anyone aiming to speak and write with more confidence.
Now, let's move on to Method 4, integrating English idioms and phrases. Learning these expressions is key to thinking naturally in English. They add color and context to your language, helping you express ideas in ways that sound truly native. When you understand English idioms and phrases, you're not just memorizing words. You're embracing the cultural nuances that make everyday conversations so lively. These expressions allow you to connect with others on a more personal level and make your speech more engaging. They serve as shortcuts to deeper meanings, making your communication more effective and relatable.
Absolutely, Ryan. By familiarizing yourself with English idioms and phrases, you equip your brain with tools that enhance your overall fluency. When these expressions become part of your vocabulary, your thoughts begin to flow more naturally. It's a practical way to step away from textbook language and move into real-life usage. Understanding these idioms not only enriches your language, but also helps you avoid common pitfalls. Many learners make common English mistakes simply because they haven't grasped these everyday expressions. Integrating them into your practice is a proven way to build confidence and improve clarity in your conversations.
Taking it a step further, knowing idioms and phrases means you're more likely to catch the subtleties of what native speakers say. This deeper understanding is crucial when you're trying to navigate complex conversations or catch humor and sarcasm in everyday dialogue. When you master these expressions, you reduce the risk of miscommunication that often leads to common English mistakes. It's all about fine-tuning your ear and your intuition for the language. As you use these phrases regularly, they become second nature, allowing you to think and speak more fluidly. This method not only enhances your vocabulary, but also strengthens your overall language skills.
Exactly, Ryan. By integrating idioms and phrases into your daily practice, you're actively training your brain to understand and use the language in a more native-like manner. This approach helps you bypass the literal translations that can often result in common English mistakes. Instead, you begin to see patterns and cultural references that enrich your communication. As you practice, you'll notice that your expressions become more nuanced and your conversations more dynamic. This isn't just about memorizing phrases, it's about embracing the language fully. In doing so, you build a solid foundation that makes every interaction smoother and more authentic.
Now, we move on to Method 5, engaging in real-life English conversations. Practicing English in everyday settings is one of the best ways to build fluency. When you chat with friends, family, or even practice by yourself, you get real experience using the language. This constant practice helps your brain adjust and makes speaking in English feel more natural. By setting aside time for small conversations, whether during a walk, a meal, or even while waiting in line, you improve your listening and speaking skills. Using these simple moments to speak English confidently can also help you overcome the fear of speaking, making language practice an everyday habit.
Absolutely, Ryan. Taking part in everyday conversations gives you the chance to practice real-life English without pressure. When you speak regularly, you start to feel more comfortable with the language. Simple techniques like repeating new phrases or using basic questions and answers can boost your confidence. By talking in settings that feel natural, like greeting a neighbor or ordering food, you gradually build your ability to speak English confidently. This practical experience is key to overcoming the fear of speaking as you see progress with every conversation. It's a friendly and accessible way to grow your fluency day by day.
To add to that, practicing real-life conversations helps you get used to how English sounds in daily interactions. The more you speak, the more you learn to adjust your pronunciation and intonation naturally. One helpful technique is to start with short, simple exchanges and then gradually move to longer discussions. This step-by-step approach reduces the pressure you might feel and helps you focus on speaking clearly. Over time, regular conversation practice not only builds your confidence, but also improves your ability to think in English. It's all about making every interaction count as part of your language learning journey.
And that's so important, Ryan. When you engage in daily conversations, you learn to express your thoughts more freely and accurately. Practicing in a relaxed setting can really make a difference. Try to speak about topics that interest you, ask questions, and share your ideas without worrying too much about mistakes. This will gradually help you build a natural flow and reduce hesitation. As you practice speaking more often, you'll notice that your confidence increases and your fear of speaking English diminishes. With every conversation, you take another step towards becoming a more fluent and confident speaker.
Now let's move on to Method 6, enhancing writing and self-reflection. One effective way to boost your English is by writing regularly. Keeping a journal or taking notes in English can really help reinforce your thinking patterns. When you write down your thoughts, you practice forming sentences and expressing ideas in the language. This simple habit is a practical way to improve English writing skills over time. It makes the process of learning more personal and interactive, and helps you see progress with every entry. Using everyday writing as a tool can make your language learning journey much smoother and more enjoyable.
That's right, Ryan. Writing regularly, whether it's a journal, a diary, or even simple notes, is a fantastic way to practice your language skills. It helps you organize your thoughts in English and slowly build confidence. A good tip is to set aside a few minutes each day just for writing. Not only does this help in improving English writing skills, but it also provides a chance to reflect on your progress. When you review what you've written, you can spot areas that need improvement and identify common patterns or mistakes. This kind of self-reflection makes your learning process more effective and personal.
Another key benefit of regular writing is that it gives you the opportunity to fix English grammar mistakes. As you review your work, you can notice patterns in errors and work on correcting them. There are plenty of simple strategies to make English grammar made easy, such as breaking down sentences or using online tools to check your work. Focusing on small, consistent improvements can really help you see big changes over time. By making a habit of writing and self-reflection, you gradually train yourself to think in English, and the more you practice, the more natural it becomes.
Exactly, Ryan. Incorporating regular journaling or note-taking into your daily routine creates a space where you can practice without pressure. It's a relaxed way to work on your language skills, and you can experiment with different writing styles. Over time, you'll notice that your sentences become clearer and your overall communication improves. Simple strategies like writing about your day or outlining your thoughts before speaking not only help you improve English writing skills, but also make learning grammar feel less intimidating. By taking the time to fix English grammar mistakes, you set the foundation for a smoother, more confident use of the language.
Finally, let's talk about Method 7, active listening with multimedia content. One great way to boost your language skills is by using movies, documentaries, and series as your practice ground. When you watch your favorite shows or films, you're not just entertained, you're also engaging in effective English listening exercises. This approach lets you compare different accents and styles, such as British versus American English, so you can better understand native speakers. Whether you decide to learn English with movies or Netflix, or dive into a compelling documentary, every bit of active listening helps sharpen your ear for natural speech and improves your overall fluency.
That's right, Ryan. Incorporating multimedia content into your daily routine creates a dynamic learning experience. Watching varied content exposes you to a range of vocabulary, idiomatic expressions, and cultural nuances. With every scene you follow, you're practicing your listening skills without even realizing it. This method not only boosts your ability to catch different accents, like British versus American English, but it also builds a strong foundation for engaging in real conversations. By choosing content that interests you, you make learning enjoyable and more relatable. Every minute you spend watching is another step toward mastering the language naturally.
As we wrap up today's episode, remember that active listening with multimedia content is a fun and practical way to improve your English. By integrating English listening exercises into your leisure time, you can continuously expose yourself to natural speech patterns and everyday expressions. This practice helps you adapt to various accents and speeds up your ability to understand native speakers. Using platforms like Netflix to learn English with movies is not only convenient but also incredibly effective. We're confident that this method, along with the others we've discussed, can make a real difference in your journey toward fluency and confidence in English.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Speak Up. Today, we explored 7 actionable methods to help you train your brain to think in English, and active listening with multimedia content is a perfect example of how fun learning can be. We hope these tips inspire you to embrace every opportunity, be it through movies, daily conversations, or journaling, to improve your skills. Keep practicing, stay curious, and remember that every little effort counts. We appreciate your time and encourage you to continue this journey with us. Until next time, keep speaking up and enjoy your learning adventure.